Hey, folks, what's up? I know you're used to seeing this face on this camera, on your TV screen, only on Mondays. But this holiday season is being so good. I saw my Cowboys play almost a perfect game a couple days ago. And then yesterday, I saw them put together a second half to come back and say, we are still the best team in the NFL. I decided to, after I ate that turkey yesterday, I need to come back on today and eat this turkey named Stephen A. Smith for my Dallas Cowboys and all that lives in Cowboys Nation. First Take is in the house.
Morning, welcome into First Take. Thank you for being with us. I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Stephen A., good morning.
Good morning,
Good to see you. Michael Irvin, now that all the pleasantries are out of the way, I just want to know if a hobbled New York Giants team went into Jerry's World at full strength, riding high after beating Minnesota, had scored 8 more points, would you still be here this morning?
Miley, I got a lot of things that I'm going to have to answer for to God. So if they would have lost, I might not have been here. I don't need to put this on the list, too. Let me just give you some truth in that. But that is not the case. And, Molly, I don't even like how you trying to already pat your stats after beating a hobbled New York Giants team. We'll get ready to talk about all of this. Hobbled or not, you can only play the people that are in front of you, and the Cowboys played the people that were in front of them, and it happened to be a Giant team who's very good.
Okay. To Stephen A.'s point, I was leading the witness. I get it. I'll get to the question
You were
now.
leading the witness, but I will tell you, this is a rare occurrence. It's not just because it's Friday. This might be the first time in television history I've actually seen Michael Irvin wearing a decent suit.
Yeah,
with a matching tie and pocket square.
He
actually looks very, very good. I mean, it usually don't happen. I mean, it's a miracle.
For the holiday.
This is a miracle. He's looking pretty damn sharp this morning. I got it. That's the first time that I've ever seen him with an outfit, and I went like this. I wouldn't mind wearing that. I think I could wear that. This is the first time. It's the first time. I give it to you.
Right.
I give it to you.
You know what's so funny, man? What's so funny? I choose this as my like a remote suit. This ain't no live and in-person suit. This is like a remote suit.
Well, you need to do remote more often. Yeah. You need to do remote more often.
Don't worry. Nails done, hair done, everything did.
Let's do it.
The Cowboys' CeeDee Lamb had himself a day, putting Dallas in position for one of Dak Prescott's 2 scoring passes to Dalton Schultz and Ezekiel Elliott's TD run in a 28-20 victory over the New York Giants on Thanksgiving Day. Despite the win, penalties continue to be an issue for Dallas. Here's Mike McCarthy.
To win a game when you have 2-1 penalties to your opponent, that's obviously not where you want to be.
We got to be more disciplined, stop hurting ourselves on drives and self-inflicted wounds, whether it be me turning the ball over, being too aggressive, or not on the same page as receivers, false starts. We've got to clean all that stuff up. But I'm as confident as I can be. I know what this team is capable of, especially with this defense that we have. As I said, we control everything that's in front of us.
All right, S.A., what did we learn about the Cowboys?
Not a damn thing. There's nothing that we learned from the Dallas Cowboys yesterday that we didn't suspect about them coming into the game. We could sit up here post-Thanksgiving and act like something special happened yesterday. Nothing special happened yesterday. The fact of the matter is they were going up against a team that was clearly inferior and that was undermanned, to say the least. I mean, their number 1 wide receiver, Shepard, is out for the year, okay? Darius Slate can do but only so much. Saquon Barkley, if you're stacking a box with 8 people, what's he supposed to do? And Daniel Jones is like a deer in headlights. I've never seen so many passes thrown to the knees and the ankles of receivers on the move in my life. That's what Daniel Jones did yesterday. So you don't have a number 1 quarterback. You don't have a number 1 receiver. You're depleted on your offensive line, okay? All right, what did you expect? The fact of the matter is it was a shock, an absolute shock, that the Dallas Cowboys were literally down by halftime. It was a shock that the New York Giants had a lead. It was a shock that the Giants weren't annihilated throughout the game, and it just was happened in the second half. I'm not getting caught up in all of this stuff. You think this stuff tells us something about the New York Giants. They ain't the San Francisco 49ers. They ain't the Philadelphia Eagles. Hell, they ain't even the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am not concerned at all about what I saw yesterday. Dallas, they looked good. That's what they were supposed to do. I did see Dak Prescott throw 2 interceptions. Let's see him do that against Philadelphia or San Francisco. I did see Michael Gallup. I'm very, very pleased with what I saw from Michael Gallup. I know CeeDee Lamb had a big game numbers-wise, but I like how Michael Gallup looked. Michael Gallup seemed to be saying, what the hell y'all clamoring for Odell Beckham Jr. for? I'm here. I'm all right. We don't need Odell Beckham Jr., but you still got the team literally politicking and putting out promotional and marketing campaigns to lure Odell Beckham Jr. to Big D. This is how desperate the Dallas Cowboys are. So I hear all the bloviating. I hear all the talking. I hear how y'all think y'all something special and all of this other stuff. But we ain't learned a damn thing yesterday. Not Thanksgiving Day. I'm sorry. Matter of fact, the Giants look like they overate. They look like they came in there stuffed. They look like they came in there a bit bloated because that's how they played in the second half. I ain't get caught up in all of that nonsense. This means absolutely nothing to me. This is no litmus test. They just got another W. Congratulations to them. But I did see those 13 penalties, and that reminds me of the 14 penalties they had in the postseason. See, as things change, they remain the same. Just be patient, y'all. Just be patient. They're just showing you things that can happen that's going to mess it up for them.
Listen, let me say this first. Let me say this because I knew, I knew this would be part of it also. Just like the Minnesota thing last week. Every time Dallas takes out a 8-1 team or a 7-3 team, teams that are at the top of the food chart as far as the record goes in the NFL, the next day, all of a sudden, those teams were not who we thought they were. Everybody always says that. I want to give the Giants some credit. I was at that game yesterday, and I saw an incredible effort out of the Giants. I heard what the announcers were talking about, that the Giants had looked long and hard after losing that game to Detroit and how they looked within themselves. And they showed up early in this game, and they played hard. It reminded me of a game when I remember when Washington was winning Super Bowls and we had just came in, and Wilbert Marshall, he was playing linebacker. And we started the game, and we were like, we're going to beat them. I mean, it was 1-13 or 3-13 or 1-15 years. I said, we're going to beat them today. And we were moving the ball. We were doing great. And Wilbert Marshall said to his defense, calm down, everybody. They're just excited. Once the excitement goes away, we're going to commence to whooping on their butt. And that's exactly what they did, because they were a championship team and we were not. I put too much on Dallas because I expected to see the same game plan and the same team I saw last Sunday against Minnesota, which is in that 11-game stretch, the 11-day stretch. They played 3 games. To play the Giants that last game, the Giants played so hard and so admirably. And then the Cowboys find their way to the second half of that game. This is the 3rd game in 11 days. It reminded me of that Washington team and that Wilbur Marshall, those teams that they won a championship with. And I said, this is what a championship team is. It absorbs the blow. When you're on the 3rd game in 11 days, they absorbed that blow. But then they turned around and got back to business that they were better than. Yes, we learned great things about this Cowboy team. We learned some more fight that's in this Cowboy team. And Stephen, I'll give you credit. You are absolutely right. I'm so proud of my neighbor. He lives right across the street. I'm going to put flowers on his door. I'm going to even put some candy on his door. Because Michael Gallup has been showing up and showing out. He's showing now that he's all the way back from that leg injury, and he is ready. And I tweeted, you are watching the hatching of a true and pure #1 receiver. They robbed CeeDee Lamb on that touchdown. The moment that toe touched down, it should have been a touchdown. The moment that toe touched down, didn't matter what the heel did because everything else was already in possession. CeeDee Lamb has really come on and really starting to show up. He's taking over games late, which is what 88 must do. You got to know how to win games, then you got to know how to take over games, and then you got to know how to close games. And that's exactly what CeeDee Lamb did. I thought we learned a lot about the Dallas Cowboys. And I'm going to tell you something. It ain't just Jerry Jones and the Dallas Cowboys that's out there shooting out that bait and trying to reel that rod in and catch that bass called Odell Beckham Jr. Because I've been texting and talking to him too. I'm throwing out that bait and trying to reel that rod in with that big bass called Odell Beckham Jr.
Enough is enough. Enough is enough.
It's over.
Enough is enough. It's over what? What you trying to say? What you trying to say? You have any idea how pathetic you sound? How pathetic you sound. Here you are. You just finished. Now mind you, you talked about that was a touchdown. CD Lamb got the toe down, right? That was really a touchdown. And this brother is worthy of wearing number 88. That's what you said. You talk about Dak Prescott. You did your playmaker segment. Your playmaker. We the boy. Dak Prescott, okay? Domination and all of this other stuff, right? That's Dak, right? Then you got Michael Gallup. Oh, he your neighbor now. He ain't just a receiver. He ain't just a receiver for the Dallas Cowboys. He ain't just some all-world caliber talent. He's your next door neighbor. I mean, it's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, Mr. Rogers. That's what you are right now. And then not only that, in the same breath, you gonna turn around and sit up there and say, I'm clamoring for OBJ. I'm reeling them in. I'm coming to Dallas. Y'all are desperate, pathetic. This is the kind of nonsense that I'm talking about. So in other words, you in one breath you loaded and you ready to win it all. But in another breath, oh my goodness, if we get OBJ, it's done. It's a wrap. We gonna win it all in Arizona. But I thought y'all were good enough without him. What you clamoring for him for? And if that's your neighbor as well as your boy, he clearly making a statement. We don't need OBJ. We got me. But you ain't listening to that. You all over the damn place. It's hypocritical.
No. Let me explain exactly what I'm talking about.
I understood you the first time.
Without Odell, let's listen to it. Listen with your ears, not your mouth. Without Odell, we're going to win a Super Bowl. With Odell, we're going to be another dynasty. That's exactly what I just said. Let me repeat it again so it comes across clearly. Without Odell, we will win a Super Bowl.
Dynasty.
With Odell, we will win many Super Bowls
Well, what
and
the hell
become
is your
a dynasty.
definition? What?
And Odell can be a part of that.
Excuse me, I love Odell Beckham Jr. The brother is something special. I believe he would have been the Super Bowl MVP last year had he not gotten hurt. But last time I checked, he went down with a non-contact injury. Last time I checked, he's missed quite a few games over the last year. Last time I checked, y'all ain't won a Super Bowl since 1995. Back then, you wasn't wearing a toupee. You barely had hair, and you rocked a fade for crying out loud. And you talk, that's how long ago it's been since you won a damn Super Bowl and your team won a damn Super Bowl. But suddenly, because Odell Beckham Jr. arrived, a dynasty, don't you have to win one first? And could you count on him to be there for 2 or 3? You can't. I ain't disrespecting Odell because I got love for him. I know the brother's all world when he's healthy, but the bottom line is injuries have ravaged him. That is a fact. So what are you talking about, dynasty? That involves longevity. You don't snap your fingers and win 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls. You played how many years? And you had 3. And you wasn't injury prone. Matter of fact, when healthy, I saw y'all lose to San Francisco because Prime Time showed up with Steve Young and Jerry Rice and the crew. And they said, wait a minute, playmaker. Wait a minute, Emmett. Wait a minute, Troy. Wait a minute, Barry Switzer. Wait a minute, Jerry Jones. It ain't going down like that.
We ain't talking about.
That's what we talking about. You the one brought up dynasty.
NFC championship game records. We're not talking about the game that I broke all them championship game records. We ain't talking about what we're talking about right here. What we're talking about right here is what will happen when we were going to win a Super Bowl. And now, what will happen if Odell Beckham comes? Now, listen. You said, as you recently remember, Odell has been injured. Yes, he has. But as I recently remember, when Odell did show up last year,
he's big time.
Boy, he quickly ascended. He quickly ascended to one of the best players on the Rams team. And if he does that over here, and you already know the kind of games he has had in AT&T Stadium.
It's not going to work.
I've been telling him. I said, man, listen, you know what kind of games you've been having in AT&T Stadium? Imagine having 8 of those. Imagine having 9 of those a year. That's what you can do when you put that star on the side of your helmet. You remember that one-handed catch? He was internationally known after that one one-hand catch. Not just because
You mean
of
the
the
one-handed? Time out. You mean the one-handed catch? Hold on. You mean the one-handed? Hold on. You mean the one-handed catch that you said last week came in second place to Justin Jefferson's catch against Buffalo a few weeks ago? You mean that catch that you wouldn't even put in number one? You mean that catch? You thought I forgot? You thought I forgot? I didn't forget
that catch. But he can get the number one spot when he does that.
Oh,
for the Dallas Cowboys. Oh my God, he'll be the number one.
Can I ask a question?
What's that?
So you just gonna ignore the fact. You just gonna ignore the fact that if Odell comes, because of how great he can be, that it might make your next door neighbor, your friendly neighborhood neighbor, Michael Gallup, and CeeDee Lamb a bit salty because they ain't those dudes. It's going to be Odell Beckham Jr. You see, you can find a variety of ways to lose, and dissension amongst the ranks could potentially happen. I mean, I'm just saying. You know, they're trying to get their own shine. And Odell will clearly take it if he arrives.
That's not a problem. Let me tell you why that's not a problem. Did you see that press conference that we played right before you and I started this discussion? In that press conference, you watch one Dak Dakota Prescott. He stood up there.
God.
He
Him
said,
again?
yes, we have to clean. Listen, he said we have to clean up a lot of things. First, me and my interceptions. He's not like that quarterback y'all got out there in New York who won't take on responsibility and point fingers at himself.
That's a boy. He's 22 years old. It's second year in the league. You gonna do that? You gonna bring up Zach Wilson? That's what you gonna do? He's fresh out of BYU, breath smelling like Similac, wet behind the ears. You know better than that.
I didn't say any names. And that's why I didn't say any names.
Well, damn it, everybody know the story. It just happened 3 days ago.
But it's still about leadership. We don't, now all of a sudden, I was the one that said he was a young kid. Give him a chance. But y'all ain't want to. Y'all just said no. So now I'm using him as an example to talk about what
Dak following our lead.
And Dak
so you following our lead.
Dak can integrate all of those talents.
Well, let me tell you about the integration. Let me tell you about the integration that you just brought up. See, you brought up Dak Prescott, right? You brought up Dak Prescott. First of all, let me say this, and I'm going to remind you of what I've said. Dak Prescott is unequivocally, and I'm not saying this is a negative. I like the brother. You know what I'm saying? As Cowboy fans, I can't stand. Not the players, not the team. Okay? Here's the deal. Dak Prescott is the most useless waste of time interview in professional sports. He has absolutely nothing to say. Bill Belichick says more to him, and he don't even talk. I'm just trying to tell you, Dak Prescott says nothing. It's a waste of time. The only reason he gets interviewed is because he plays the quarterback position for the Dallas Cowboys. It's a waste of time to talk to Dak Prescott. He says nothing.
Oh my God.
He says nothing. Same stuff. You can literally interview Dak Prescott in the preseason and never interview him again throughout the season and just re-air his quotes. It'll be the same thing.
But Steven, that's what a quarterback's supposed to do.
Do you hear what y'all
give
saying?
the media fodder.
Right, thank you, Molly.
When you win,
Molly.
not when you're not
your
winning.
words just ringing.
Not when you're not winning.
Yeah. That's exactly what a quarterback's supposed to do. That's exactly what Tom Brady has done. That's exactly what Peyton Manning has done for 100 million years.
That's not true.
And you said nothing when they did it.
That's not true.
It is Tom Brady.
When
he was with New England.
Tom Brady and Peyton Manning, all right? Aaron Rodgers and all of them have said more. Dak Prescott's interviews are a waste of time. I don't even pay attention to what he says. It's the same thing over and over again. I've been listening to him for 5-6 years. The fact is he says nothing. It's a waste of time. When I saw him in person, I said, "What's up, man? How you doing?" Because I knew I was getting nothing else. I mean, he's got nothing else to say. You can talk to him, it don't matter what. He's going to say the same thing every time. It's an echo. That's all it is. It's a waste. I'm not knocking him for it. To each his own. He ain't no crime, but it's a waste of time.
It's called
a
being
waste of
consistent.
time.
When Tom Brady was with New England, they didn't say
Right.
anything.
Listen.
New England, you know that. They're like Fort Knox up there.
Sometimes he was
That's
buttoned up in
It's a different deal.
There is such a thing as being conspicuous with your silence too, Molly. I'm sure you understand what that is. Okay, so the fact of the matter is that is possible, but in the case of Dak Prescott, it don't matter. You can quote him from 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 6 months ago, it doesn't matter. It's the same thing. It's a waste of time to get quotes from him. It's a waste of time. All you gotta do is re-air the stuff. Waste of time. So I don't want to hear what he has to say.
All right. There was some other good games.
I care about what he does.
Can I move on? Do you have any last thoughts?
No, I got nothing.
Michael, are you good?
I'm trying to hurry up with this so I don't have to look at him again. Let's go.
Okay, Michael's good.
I'm good. I'm good.
Rubbing it in. The suit is fly. Though.
It is.
It really is.
Gentlemen, let's get to the first game, though, because it was
I appreciate that.
a nail biter in